I love our top cut intro music. It's so epic, you know, something cool is about to go down. I really like this new deck from Dominik. It's not something I've seen before. It's using a lot of different themes all together. I think there's some new cards released that kind of cross over between the Azamina cards and the White Forest cards. I think everybody knows this. I was going to get the name wrong. I was going to say the Deception of the Simple Spoils. There we go. Tribute a monster and add most often the Hallowed Azamina, but maybe something else new could happen. This card, if you don't interrupt it, can lead to quite a lot of advantage, and it will put up a negate anyway, so you kind of have to use some interruption on it.
Yeah.
If you have any.
I mean, it's... Ooh, that's a really good way to start things off. I mean, when the cards were announced, there was a lot of rumor about it. I think that due to, you know, sets coming out and also different Forbidden and Limited list, the engine really didn't get to shine all that much. So I'm glad that Dominik, you know, is finding a way to, you know, implement it with some of these other engines. And I mean, top 16 is no joke.
Yeah, it was very sportsmanlike of Noël there just to remind Dominik to resolve the wanted that he activated in order to add the Witch to hand. And here we're already going to see our first new... This must be a new Diabol Star card.
Yep. It's, well, not quite new, but I think it's...
is it that one that makes your opponent set cards?
I thought so. Isn't it? Diabol Z?
In any event, we're going to get to see the Black Goat Laughs. A very good card for decks that like to discard and
Absolutely.
mill.
I mean, mention it. 3 copies makes so much sense. You need some spell and trap recursion. You need cards to discard. The card does both, so just seems like a perfect fit.
And I think in this deck you can actually properly fusion summon the Azaminas, which is quite fun, because a lot of the time I don't think people even know all of the requirements, but here we are, able to fusion summon them. It looked like a contact fusion almost beforehand, but now we're going to have a synchro summon, I guess.
Yep, the first of many for the White Forest deck usually.
The Arciela, yeah.
Quite a lot of new cards on display, or at least new to me. I really like the inclusion of the Black Goat Laughs as a good card to discard or send to the graveyard for your White Forest effects, as well as the sort of in-engine White Forest cards that just come back when they're discarded.
And yeah, here it is for you guys as well on screen. It does quite a lot. It can pretty much add any White Forest card. It's also a tuner, so it allows you to extend further.
I like having access to Azamina monsters. I think there's a lot more synergy you can do there, because beforehand I feel like people were just, well, main deck Azamina monsters, because beforehand I think people were just using the extra deck ones and the main deck spells. The graveyard effect of Black Goat Laughs, does that stop monsters being summoned, or does that stop effects being activated? I can never remember which way around it goes. There's one that on the...
Any of the player can activate the effects of monsters on the field with their original name.
Nice.
That's a very nice interaction, and it looks as if Noël didn't have anything to stop Dominik's from continuing, and he's playing quite a few.
Yeah, he's playing quite a few interruptions. At the same time, yeah, it's top 16. He most likely knows what he's up against, right? So maybe he's prepared the strategy for when to interrupt the deck.
Do you think he has the combo? He is running the combo of Impermanence Nibiru.
I mean, he's playing it, so maybe holding that, but... I mean, he's super familiar with all the cards because he's allowing Dominik to resolve them, and he didn't even read a singles effect, which, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never.
There you go.
Yeah, this is a very powerful trap. You can reveal some number of illusions and spellcasters, and then return cards on the field to the hand, equal to the number that you've revealed. So basically everything,
Yeah.
given how many illusions and spellcasters are in the graveyard at this point.
We are gonna get an additional draw.
The new Azamina spells.
Wow. Ooh.
I
Also
think
the
it's
Lacuna.
the Sinful Spoils, right? Of the White Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
And yeah, now we get access to the Fiendsmith engine as well. You can see all of these different archetypes mixed together in this deck from Dominik.
I think they all kind of have some actual cards that mix them. It feels kind of like this Fallen of Albaz kind of theme around it that goes on.
Yeah, I mean, even the Sinful Spoil that you just see on screen states that you need to control either a Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster. So it's kind of like suggesting you to include some of these Fiendsmiths in the deck.
I'd love to see how he constructed his extra deck, given the wide variety of different engines going on here. I wonder also how many cards he has left in his hand that could potentially be interruptions. Looks like a very, very heavy engine, so I wonder...
Yeah, I don't think he's has room. Oof!
What a start.
There he goes. Wow. I think he's completely all in on the field. Yeah, no more cards in hand. All there, but Noël, full 6 cards left, hasn't interrupted him at all. And top decks, yet another Ryziel card. So yeah, manages to not draw any of his, 15 plus entraps.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, no interruptions at all from Noël, which was very unfortunate given the number he's playing. I mean, Fuvalos, Impermanence, Snip, Veiler, Ash.
Yeah.
And the Bestials.
And the Bestials, yeah.
Wow, so it's probably closer to 20 than to 15. Oh no, there was another card, okay. It was just Dominik keeping it a little bit closer to himself, and what a card it was, the Ash on the Tract.
So I think with the White Forests, I mean, obviously we can see the Azamina negations and the Fiendsmith. I think the White Forest's particular choice of interruption is to synchro summon something that sets all of your cards face down. So that's something for Noël to look out for. Or maybe I'm thinking back in the past, and that's what the Runic White Forest deck did.
Yeah, more than synchro summoning, just special summons straight out of the extra deck, a synchro. By just sending spell and traps even from the field, which is great synergy with all of the Fiendsmith cards.
And he used the Ilia Sylvia on the triple tactics talent, which I think makes sense.
But now comes the X with their aggregator.
That means you're foregoing all of the Fiendsmiths if you've special summoned X'd from the hand. How does Diabol activate? Is it just a quick effect?
Yeah, whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, it's pretty easy. Yeah, and I think that's what we are going for. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yep. Gonna special summon a synchro right off the extra deck.
Useful to get rid of the Agnum Day. We see players occasionally negate their own Agnum Day to reduce the attack of Desiree to get it below Typhon range.
Is it Silver? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
I was going to have to ask Dominik politely to play less shiny cards so we can identify them here from the commentary box.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's essentially a Book of Eclipse only for your opponent. There it is. Can we find an additional push from Noël? I think he has Sword maybe in his hand.
Yeah, he's certainly got his work cut out for him. 'Cause he's not put the X in the graveyard, it means that you cannot special Sword at the moment.
Is this a pass? Because we're shuffling the deck of Dominik. No, not quite. I think at the moment we are gonna go for the node.
Yeah, are there any Rizos in the grave yet? I don't think any have made their way into the grave, so... Or maybe I'm wrong. But I guess this would make way for Sword.
Yeah, I think you're right, but obviously you can still get the node thanks to the aggregator.
It's fantastic artwork on the node. It looks very cool. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But
Yeah, I think there is only like the engraver and the aggregator at the moment.
And Dominik still has the Desiree as well as whatever his mystery face down cards are. He also drew a card. Maybe that's why the deck was being shuffled before.
Yeah. And here comes the Sword. We also know one of the face downs from Dominik. And there is also the goat in the graveyard.
Oh yeah, here we go. Goodbye, whole field.
Wow.
Can have those all back.
Yeah.
He's what an interruption this is.
Yeah, this is incredible,
Yes.
honestly. Yeah.
What a card. And you can get it back every turn with the White Forest engine. So that's rough. And now we use the Black Goat on ice, and that's it. That's enough.
Wow.
Noël is knocked. The first game goes to Dominik and this White Forest deck with just Fiendsmith and Azamina cards. What an opener this was. Definitely not something we have seen all weekend.
Yeah, I have not seen this before, and it was very fun. I really love these cards, the way they synergize together. I really love resolving Deception, and then you just get to search a couple of cards, and the cards coming back from the grave in the end phase. It's a bit like a more modern version of Branded almost, but we saw Branded still competing today, but I love all the cards like going in and out of the grave and summoning more copies of themselves.
I mean, it was quite a show off, especially because the Azamina Aphis, honestly, it's great. It's insane, and I also feel like that it was quite unfortunate for Noël on the other side because he didn't draw any interruptions and he's playing multiples. So he was just sitting there watching basically Dominik showcasing us how powerful his deck is. And yeah, now into this game too, honestly, I think the pressure is on Noël, especially because, I mean, he looked quite familiar with the deck and the effects, but still, you know, you have to recover and try to cut back into the match.
Yeah, at least what he's got for him is that he's used to this stage. He has won YCS Lille, so he has been on stream multiple times for that event, and he knows how it feels. But yeah, his opponent is only one game away from advancing to that top 8, and obviously, most importantly, having the interview with Ed, because that's the ultimate prize. So that what every of our duelist wants to achieve. I guess the plan is probably pretty straightforward for Noël. Bring in, as we've mentioned, those usual solemns. Do you think Droll is something that we might see?
I'm not 100% sure on Droll. I definitely think Called by the Grave because it can be used both as as something to help you play or as an interruption on your opponent's turn. Metal Tronus, I'm not sure. I wouldn't trust it if I was him. If you don't really know what cards your opponent's going for, then you don't know whether you're going to have good targets for it. But certainly the Strikes and the Called by the Grave. And then Draw and Lock, I'd say jury's out.
But yeah, as our duelists have done multiple times already this weekend, their side decks are completed. So let's find out whether Dominik can put a stop with just a quick 2-0 or if we're going to game 3. Let's jump back into action.
Both duelists just shuffling up. We can only assume Noël going first. Because Dominik, what do we think is going second plan is? I'm seeing Ultimate Slayer. That seems to be the side deck card of the weekend after Artifact Lancia, of course.
Yeah, the 94, 96. Yeah, 94, I think.
That was crazy to see something in 94% of people's side decks. Such a powerful card.
Wow, it's 5 monsters, so as straight up as it gets for Noël. Let's take a look at what they are, though. That's a great thing to start things off. Do we see the Fuvolos? No response from Dominik.
I see an impermanence, but going to wisely hold onto it.
Do you reckon for the duo or for his own turn?
I was thinking for the duo. Most people like to negate the duo, but he could also hold it for his own turn. Possibly, I was thinking of Abyss Dweller. I've been thinking about Abyss Dweller a lot this weekend, it seems. Because he has a lot of effects that he likes to resolve in the grave. Also, Wave King Caesar.
Oh,
quite unfortunate.
Yeah, we had to summon from hand. That's definitely quite unfortunate. He's not on Exiton, right?
I guess not.
Because he's played Moon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not on Exiton. Yeah.
What do you think of... are you a fan of Moon rather than Exiton?
Well, I think everybody runs Moon regardless of whether they run Exiton. It's just... I guess... personally, I feel like I like cutting it because I think it's... At the end of the day, anytime you could make Moon, you could make... Sorry, you could make Exiton, you could make Moon anyway. So you're only really using Exiton if you want to use the effect of Exiton. But compared to some of the other cards, you know, if it's a choice between Exiton and Eclipse Twins or Abyss Dweller or whatever, it feels like I probably want to use the effect of Abyss Dweller more than I want to use the effect of Exiton.
Still, I mean, I'm a fan of a card. We were discussing this yesterday, and some of the players cut out of it, and I mean, I feel like it's still debatable whether you know, to keep it in. Yeah.
But by summoning this Wave King Caesar, now we are safe from Nibiru. We can get into the Ryziels, and if you're right, Tom, we'll see probably these impermanents come down on the duo later on. Let's take a look, though.
Yeah, Duo is such a threatening card, and it's quite frustrating, I guess, if you have the impermanence, because you really want it. Like, Ice is so powerful, it summons a monster, you get to search another one, but because of the threat of your opponent just summoning another monster and making Duo, you almost feel like you have to let them do it, but you really don't want to, if you could avoid it.
Yeah, there comes Twin Eclipse. New addition to the deck, and here is the big question. Are we going to be using impermanence? Reading it.
I didn't see a Nibiru in his hand as well. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
There it is. As you would expect, permanence shuts down some of these resources. We already know the node was searched earlier on, though, and there it is.
Is there a Ryziel engrave? I think there might be. One of the best bits of starting with Ice is making sure that there are a couple in your grave. Always?
Yeah.
And I guess...
Yeah, this might just be it.
Yeah, Detonator or Dweller.
Let's see what this has to go for. That's a pretty...
Probably
choice,
Detonator.
yeah.
I mean, you have the Twin... Yeah. With the Eclipse set up. Yeah, why not? And let's see if there is the Ultimate Slayer.
Yeah, it's such a clean card this weekend. Everyone is running it. I feel like it makes a lot of sense to run it when you're running Ryziels, and then people have just decided it's quite good anyway, and just putting the aggregator in their extra deck to make use of it against Ryziels. that 1-2 punch. Turn off the detonator and then turn off the cross with the aggregator normally. But here,
And that's a pass. So Dominik draws into his 6th card. Can he find a way to fight back? Ooh, and there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see Noël expression, really not happy about this, but I mean, it is the card of the weekend.
yeah, there's nothing you can do about it because normally you would love to just chain the detonator to destroy itself,
Yeah.
and then the Eclipse Twin would bring it right back again.
Yeah, it is by far one of the
Wow.
best answers to the
Yeah, this is
detonator.
crazy good. It shuts down the twin as well, that's the thing. And whew, let's see.
Wow. Again, wow.
What an opener. Do we have Ash or something from Noël?
Even the Ash, you're just going to get the follow-up search from the Azamina fusion.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
I guess he just has the one interruption left from the graveyard. But it seems difficult to imagine that will be enough to stop Dominik, especially what we saw in game 1. Very cleanly played from Dominik. Only 2 interruptions, but, you know, saved and used at the precise moment, they're going to have the biggest effect. Using that impermanence at the right time. Is it just one card in hand for now?
Two.
True. Yeah.
But I think one was another Ryziel, I'm almost positive.
They're just stacked very neatly together.
Okay, now here comes the Lacrima. Threatening the Finsmith in Paradise, possibly.
Is it a cost to return Lacrima?
No, I don't think it's any of those are cost. But I mean, they most likely resolve most of the time. And let's see if there is a response. There is. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I was thinking if there's any benefit to using the negation on Lacrima versus Requiem. I guess it doesn't really matter.
What
I
did
mean,
he
it
have
is.
What did he have with the Wanted?
If you negate it, it's gonna stay there, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
much better to get rid of it. And now, question is, do we have more? I mean, we know the Black Witch is there. We're gonna get back spell.
Dominik just picking apart anything in his way at this point.
Engraver as well.
The Engraver. This is brutal. But we have the Ash, I think.
Yeah. There's
I
the
think I
Ash.
saw the Ash.
Yeah, there's an Ash Blossom. Yeah.
We're gonna be patient with it.
Do you have to engrave it, Ash, or do you ever hold it for Requiem
I
instead?
mean, you can hold for Tract as well if you really want. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. There he comes. So some hope for Noël.
But he's still got the Hallowed Examiner in hand.
Yeah.
You're going to get something, maybe just a Deception so you can activate it to send. I'm not sure if there's any other simple spoils that can be searched.
Don't think so at
With
this
the fusion.
point. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Simple Spoils, no more. The original is gone, yeah.
I guess he's actually got more Azamina cards, so the Deception getting a lot more value than it used to. I feel like in the past you ran it, and it was quite easy to run out of targets for it because you just ran the one copy, so after you'd already searched the Hallowed Examiner, that was kind of it, but there seems to be a few more. I don't know if he's kept any in.
Let's find out.
Well, I guess not.
Nope. Yeah, I think at this point it's clear to Dominik as well that Noël last card was, or at least last interruption is gone, and so he's picked up the pace. Gonna add the White Forest card.
Yeah, I mean, at bare minimum for Dominik, he can go through all of his Fiendsmith combos. Hasn't used the Engraver Graveyard effect yet, and he's got 2 monsters on the field. So got the Sinful Spoil. So that summons from the hand, or you can fusion summon.
Yep.
We do actually have an illusion and a spellcaster, right? So can we make a
Yeah, we
fusion?
only need one, so yeah, to activate it. So we can go if potentially. And also this works great because you can set it back if it's sent to activate a monster effect. So you'll get it as a quick spell during your opponent's turn.
Oh, that's very cool. And you can send it off Witch as well, so it all kind of works together very smoothly.
Oh, yeah, this is perfect. It just has access to all of the different engines once more, and you can see Noël pretty much just accepting his fate. Definitely wasn't expecting to be facing off against him, and now we get to the tails of the White Forest as well.
Yeah, we can start ramping up through some synchro summons. Discard.
Then set it back, and this time around, since it's a normal spell, we can then use it. Because they all have pretty much the same effect of, you know, setting them, of course, when they are used, and there it goes.
Yeah, that
Wow.
LZ was such a fantastic draw off the Wanted there.
Yeah, that was something else.
But his whole deck seems to be full of powerful engine cards, so I guess as long as he hadn't drawn something he'd already used that turn, most of his deck was pretty good. There was talents. Even a Black Goat Laughs would still be pretty helpful for next turn. Metal Tronus probably would have done quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, not going anywhere, pretty much trying to resemble what happened in the previous game. But here we see Chaos Angel, and this could just be over.
Yeah, that looks like over 8,000 damage to me, given how big that Chaos Angel is.
It's absolutely enough. Yeah, you can tell Noël has just realized it. YCS Lille champion, but that's not gonna be quite enough. Dominik wins 2-0. What a match, and what a show-off by Dominik and his White Forest deck.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Seeing something so cool, so deep into the tournament, fresh, new strategy, and taking down a former YCS champion playing like the peak of the meta deck as well is a fantastic achievement.
I mean, the deck is incredible, and also the way Dominik showed us how powerful it is. It really shows that he has a big of a chance to win those YCS.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, congratulations to Noël, honestly, for such a run. And game one was quite unfortunate because, like, it was, you know, it was just sitting there without any interruptions. While game two, Dominik just showed us how powerful the deck is. So
yeah, he doesn't play that many going second cards, but he does play those that matter. And you know, once more we got this Ultimate Slayer just being the MVP. For sure, it should have been in most of our duelist side deck this weekend, and yeah, it is pretty much the card that won him game 2.
Yeah, for sure. Ultimate Slayer, it's, you know, it's like X'd, but you don't get a Rise Heal.
Yeah.
It's still a very, very powerful card. It works so well against the Eclipse Twins as well because it stops the Detonator going to the graveyard, instead it goes back to the extra deck, leaving the Eclipse Twins without any good targets. So I can definitely see why it's caught on as one of the most popular side deck cards, and every time we've seen it almost, it's been absolutely devastating.
yeah, I mean, Ultimate Slayer along with the Artifact Lancia, I think, have been a must for our duel this weekend. And we also saw the line of playing Solemns, which I think has been a trend, either the Strike or the Judgments, depending on how they feel like. But yeah, now advancing into the top 8 very convincingly, and let's see if we will see him again on stream.
Absolutely. I mean, he has what it takes. You said it. He has the element of surprise. He has a solid deck, especially going first, I gotta say. But regardless, you gotta give you know, kudos to Noël. Solid effort, making it back to, you know, the top 16 of our YCS in the same season is no joke at all. And I'm sure we'll see more of him later on, or maybe, you know, at the European Championship. Regardless, Dominik is your first confirmed top 8 participant. So we want to know about his deck, and we'll hear it at the interview by Mike.
So, congratulations for your top 8 and the win we just experienced. First of all, I think everyone wants to know, how did you choose White Forest?
So initially I wanted to play Rise Heal for this tournament, and my Rise Heal cards are with a friend who went to YCS Orlando last week, and he was supposed to bring them to this event as well, but he couldn't come here for personal reasons, so I had to go with my backup plan. Luckily, I had played this deck before. I don't think it's actually that great. Like, I feel like I've gotten a bit lucky, but I've also built it in a way I feel is pretty strong into especially Ryziel.
I mean, first of all, you are very humble. And secondly, as we just experienced, I think that you made the right call. So the first clip that I want to discuss with you is your ending field. So can you make some details about what are your options going first?
So usually you plan to leave the Diabelle, the queen, the level 8 synchro for White Forest on the field, because she sets up a quick effect to send a card to summon another synchro from the extra deck. Usually you would special summon Salvera, which is basically a Book of Eclipse for the opponent's board on summon, which is a really strong interrupt against some decks. The other option you have is summoning the level 6 that searches, because that card can search an Effect Veiler. I'm personally not playing Effect Veiler, but my opponents don't know that I don't play Effect Veiler. The other card on the end board is usually Desiree. A lot of people would probably like to have Caesar on the end board to prevent Nibiru from being good against them, but I chose not to play the Caesar line, so Necroquip and Caesar, because almost every game I want to equip Requiem to one of my cards and send it for a White Forest effect or for Witch to stay up in card economy. So that's why I'm not playing Caesar. So usually my end board has the Queen, Desiree, and the Azamina, Omninegate, Ilya, Sylvia. Those three are like what I plan to set up. If I don't get disrupted too much, I get to set up my back row as well. The Quick Play Fusion card usually is used to make a Guardian Chimera on my opponent's turn with bodies that have already used their effects. And the trap card that I decided to play, there's two options. Woes would let you summon one from deck and also make the Book of Eclipse. But I really don't like that card because it plays really bad into Fubalos. Like if they start their turn with Fubalos and you activate that trap, you give them 2 draws. The other trap that I'm playing is an Azamina card and a White Forest card, which has the upside. Yeah, it has the upside that you can search it in another way because it's an Azamina card as well. And usually on my end board, it targets up to 6 cards on the field to return them to hand, which is a really powerful effect.
Okay, I see. And I also saw that you played Black Goat, which is a very good main deck option, right?
So I feel like the main reason to play this deck is the Black Goat Laughs.
Okay.
Because all of your combos need to send a card from your hand or from your field to the graveyard, as Diabelle Star or the LZ and other cards from the archetype as well. Usually you send 2 or 3 cards every turn to the graveyard. And while the White Forest spells and traps set themselves back, which is really good, another option is Black Goat Laughs, in my opinion, which helps you play into an opponent's board. Because your cards send the Black Goat for cost. You can even chain it to your own effect. For example, what I would do in Swiss is I would activate LZ in my hand, discarding Black Goat Laughs to a special LZ and search. But at that point, I don't control any cards yet. And then I would chain Black Goat in my graveyard, declare Detonator, so they can't activate Detonator on the field for the rest of the turn. And I control no cards at that moment, so they can't chain Detonator to get any value. And if they pop it and return it, it's still not going to be able to activate. In that way, it's even better than an Imperm, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, obviously, because Black Goat has already resolved, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the second clip that we have prepared is, what's your plan going second? I mean, obviously, we saw Ultimate Slayer, an amazing card throughout the weekend.
Yeah, Slayer is almost tailor-made to beat Ryziel. And the fact that this deck doesn't really hate drawing, like if I draw too many Ultimate Slayers, I can always just use it for one of my effects.
Yeah, since it's not once per turn, obviously.
Or like send it to resolve Witch or my White Forest cards. So I'm not sad if I draw too many of it, or like if my opponent bricks and I have a Slayer in hand, I can still use it for something. And generally my game plan going second is hand traps. I do play a couple. And to support hand traps, to like play through weaker boards using Metal Tronus, Ultimate Slayer, and the Black Goat Laughs.
I see. So congratulations on your win. Good luck on the top cut and on top 8. Congratulations again. Thank you everyone for watching the analysis, and Ed.